For a second, I thought, and then I realized, wait, you haven't actually played any of them. I thought you were going to say something to the effect of, Atlas was right. Holy beings are bastards. Anyone that calls themselves a god really is a son of a bitch.
Well, I did play
Side with the devil.
P3P, but, you know, we probably shouldn't count that in the grand scheme of things.
I can't imagine you finished it, especially not with that game's presentation.
Oh god, no. Fuck that. I did not get far.
Yeah, just play 4 Golden on Steam and 5 Royal on PS4. Specifically Royal, not the original.
Would you recommend playing the... wait, I don't know if that came to the States or not. Did that Warriors Persona game come to America? I thought it did.
Persona 5 Strikers did come to America, but it came here a year after the Japanese release date. People thought that the game was just never going to come out because some of the Persona spin-offs have been haven't been doing as well in recent years. The actual reason for that was because of COVID delay.
Oh yeah, that would explain it. But also, yeah, a year for a translation to come to the States. Holy fuck, that actually is a long time. You don't see those numbers anymore, really.
It's because the game released in Japan just before COVID hit, I think. And so in America, there's always a delay of 6 to 8 months between releases, so that was going to happen anyway, but COVID hit and they didn't know, and it took regular games and anime like a month or two to realize, oh wait, we can do remote recording. Because there was a good period between February and April, maybe even May, where literally everything was on hold before they figured out remote recordings. And Persona games on top of that are fucking enormous, having hundreds of pages worth of dialogue. So that would have also have taken an incredibly long time to record as well. So it's a double whammy as for how that shaped out the way it did.
Yeah, you say there's usually a 6-month delay, but if we're talking about like completely finished product versus the localization happening, then maybe, but I don't really see any huge delays between international and American releases anymore. It's like maybe a week or so. Like, the absolute worst I've seen myself in recent memory is just Grand Blue, and that's it.
When I said that I was referring specifically to Atlas games, because
I see.
There's because the big one in recent memory that people can remember is Persona 5 originally released in August or July of 2016 in Japan, and they announced that it was going to be a holiday release for America.
It was not a holiday release, was it?
And they released a dubbed trailer for it by then, I'm pretty sure. Then they announced that it was going to be pushed back to February, released on fucking Valentine's Day, which would have been sort of a cute joke because one of the main taglines of the game is "Steal Your Heart" after a thing that they do in the game, and then it was scheduled for Valentine's Day, and that date didn't reach either. And then it was announced for March, and that date didn't release either, and then it finally released in the middle of April of 2017. 7 or 8 months after the Japanese release.
Jesus. Okay.
The actual biggest gap in release history comes in the form of Persona 4 Arena, the first game in Europe. Fun fact, Persona 4 Arena, the original game, is one of the only games on the PS3 that is actually region-locked.
Oh no.
It hit Japan in May, I think, May or June of 2012, and it hit America in July or August of 2012. It didn't hit Europe until summer of 2013. Over an entire full year's delay to get to Europe. And they region-locked the American game, so that way you couldn't just import an American copy because the PS3 is region-free.
God damn, okay, that's...
I think there's only 4 total games on the entire PS3 that are actually region-locked.
Oh my god, yeah, jeez, that's fucked, dude. Alright.
If you can import an American copy, why would you buy a European copy when that version releases? We're just losing sales if we do that.
Maybe localize your games faster? Well thought, I know.
They've sort of been doing that. At this point, every company should aspire to the Bandai Namco approach. Which, have you heard about what they've been doing in the past 2 years?
No, but I can imagine it's probably a universe, just a worldwide release simultaneously all at once.
For the past 2 years, they've been doing one-day split releases. A game will release on a Thursday in Japan, and it will release Friday in America. There will only be a one-day gap in release.
Yep. Track sales number is better for sure, yeah.
For big games too, for My Hero, for Pirate Warriors, for Tales of Arise especially, those games usually have a big gap too, the Tales games. Tales of Zestiria, they were released in Japan in January of 2015. They originally announced that was going to be a June game in America, and then it didn't end up releasing until near the end of October.
Yeesh.
So it was a 9-month delay for what was supposed to only be a 5-month delay. So yeah, to go from that 5 years prior to nowadays having literally only a 1-day gap, rivaled only by the Pokemon same-day releases, Bandai Namco is on top of the fucking world right now.
Yeah, apparently. Fuck me. And I thought it was a long delay just waiting for Grand Blue Fantasy Versus to drop, which was like maybe a 2-month delay at most, but that was still a gruelingly long time to wait for.
It was only 1 month, and I know you know better, but for the audience's sake, no, it wasn't because of the fucking dub. The dub was on the Japanese disc too, which means it was already done. It was any number of other things. Updates, coding, programming, I don't know. That's just standard for games to come out a little later in the
West. I don't know how Cyrus Games operates. Arxis is usually pretty good about dropping games usually pretty quickly. Their track record for patching games, that's a different matter, but they're usually pretty good about actual releases, so I have no idea what that was about. That was weird timing.
They are now, they didn't used to be. That was the complaint about Central Fiction, was that, hey, yeah, we're able to release Central Fiction only a month or two after the Japanese release because we cut out the dub. That's why we're able to do that. Before, if we had a dub, then it would have taken an extra 3 months or something for the release to happen. And it's like, we know that's bullshit.
Yeah, I know that's bullshit. Because we were talking to David Vincent about it, and he was trying to petition them to actually do a dub.
Yeah, him and Patrick and everyone, they actually set up an online petition. And we know that with games like My Hero, you can patch a dub in. They dubbed the fucking, the Blaze Blue crossover game that came out 2 years later. They've started dubbing Guilty Gear again. Thank fuck.
Yep.
There are none in this world that compare to me.
Although, if I'm being honest, I think I actually prefer some of the cast members from Xrd to their newer voices in Strive.
I don't have any issues with anyone, but maybe just because I've never really experienced Xrd too much.
It's not that I don't like the voices in Strive, it's that I like the ones in Xrd a little better.
That's fair. No, Strive has different issues going on these days, not the least of which is not being the dub.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's funny. Have, you know about the thing with Testament,
yes,
right?
I am fully aware of that.
That was funny.
It was great.
I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I bought the game because of Testament.
Yep.
Yeah, for real.
No, Strive has different issues right now with apparently a lot of the player base becoming exhausted with the not shortening but widening of the actual matchup chart from the top tiers to the bottom tiers. Like, it's actually getting worse, so weird, but okay.
As I understand that the updates are rolling out a little slower than normal.
I have no idea, man. I actually have not touched... I've barely touched Guilty Gear since I moved, honestly, so I'm not sure what's going on with that in Neck of the Woods. I've just been hearing that apparently there's some wacky stuff going on with, like, the balance balance patches that's making the top tiers more top and the bottom tiers worse. I'm not sure what's going on with that end, but that's very unfortunate. It already had some iffy stuff going on already. Good luck trying to play Potemkin against Axl Rose. Holy fuck.
Yeah, I heard he was one of the characters though that was king currently.
It's more so that, yeah, it's more so that that character has absolutely no way of approaching a complete zoning character, so that's what makes it rough. Historically, in other fighting games, like Zangief losing his green hand, going for Street Fighter 4 to 5 hurt him bad as well. To translate that for you, it was basically his one way of dealing with projectiles.
Yeah.
And then losing that, it's like, huh, okay, sure, that's a decision, I guess.
If I'm remembering what I've heard in passing correctly, the bastard characters in the game were Axel, May, and I think Saul himself.
So I can tell you what was happening with that because I tried learning the game competitively. I think I did a half decent job. I got to like maybe one rank below the top rank, which was the heaven tier. So the issue characters back then,
So you were in
like,
hell.
No, apparently I was actually like 9th tier or 10th tier. I don't remember what the hell I was, but trying to use a character that was kind of dumb. Go figure. No, the problem characters back then were Soul and May, and then later on people found out, oh, Nago Ryuku is kind of fucking busted. Oopsie. Soul got
That
nerfed.
was the other one I
May,
forgot.
I assume, probably got hit at some point. Now the character is running around right now that are apparently the top are fucking one of them is Ramlethal. And wanted to use her. Because hot chocolate, babe. Yes, please. Sorry, were you gonna say something?
No, but thinking about it now, I think they revised her skin tone a little going into Strive. Isn't she more of a caramel color now?
I think it's probably more. No, she hasn't really changed so much. Maybe like a little bit lighter. Oh, hey, Tenkai, you're here now.
Hey, dialogue.
Oh, there's a story happening. Cool. I can actually pay attention again. So literally just pick me on his natural state of being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the version, I guess, where Tenkai actually survived long enough to get his run back against Oda. Because, you know, in every other version that doesn't happen. He ends up dying as the sacrifice instead of Oichi.
Yeah. So like what the hell happened here? So neither Oichi or Tenkai were the sacrifice to resurrect Oda, so he's just kind of back here naturally.
Oichi being the first stage, I think, is meant to symbolize her being the sacrifice or the catalyst. And it's not really followed up on again until his story in Otage, which I actually was tempted to splice into this, if only because it is actually a direct correlation. But yeah, I'm gonna save that for its own run, because it would have been a little weird seeing a slight interface change and the game going entirely into Japanese in the middle of this story.
So Tenkai helped to resurrect us, but he's our enemy now. That's very interesting. Oh boy, these two
Tenkai was always Oda's enemy. He's resurrecting him so that way he can be the one to kill him.
Oh, I see.
Because the thing is, Akachi Mitsuhide and Nohime were actually not technically members of his court. They were actually sent in as spies to assassinate him by Nohime's father, who was also regional lord.
Huh.
But then Nohime ended up getting enraptured in Oda's charisma, so she's like, fuck it, I'll just stay with him.
Yeah.
And then her father ended up dying anyway. And with Tenkai, he's like, well, I can't rely on her anymore, but I still do want to kill him.
How shall I show my appreciation?
Right, I'm highlighting this now because this is really funny. If you take the Hideaki path, you can finish this stage with no dialogue, no story, and no cutscenes. And you'll never know why. If you don't end up chasing after Tenkai specifically. Because like you can end up doing the whole route, end up making the wrong choice at the very end, and have to redo the whole thing just to get the story.
Yeah.
So you can fuck yourself out of getting an ending.
That's kind of funny, just having the unmarked pathway, though. But I guess that actually does add a lot of some pretty good dimension to these characters. I actually was not aware of whatsoever beforehand. The whole plan to actually assassinate Oda. That's really cool. Well, maybe not surprising whatsoever.
Nope. Because in actual history, and as you know from Samurai Warriors, it was Akachi Mitsuhide who was the one that killed Oda.
Yeah.
But you know, in these games, we need to have it be. We needed to have it be one of your player characters. So it was, by the anime's continuity, it was Yukimura and Masamune working together that killed him.
Yeah, it's a goddamn shame that we actually have not. I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe we've ever actually seen too many interactions between this series as Mitsuhide and Oda whatsoever, have we?
Not a whole lot, but they actually do sort of try to do a little more with that going forward. They have a confrontation in Utage, and in Sengoku Basara 4, there's actually a stage where you can actually interrupt the two of them while they're having their final battle in the flaming castle.
Huh, cool.
In the castle that's going up in flames, you can interrupt their battle. So you have to fight the both of them at once.
That's actually pretty sick.
Yeah, that's one of the coolest. I think that's actually the stage they use for the Resident Evil trailer, because you're just walking through a dark mansion with no lights until you get to the room that's on fire, and that's where they debut the Kojiro Leon costume.
Yeah, cool.
Is there anywhere in Resident Evil 4 or 6 where you're dealing with Leon in a place that's on fire?
Not dealing with Leon, but Leon does have one particular boss fight in a what's the best way to describe it? Like a store, like basically like a giant storage shed that's on fire. Oh, it's very hard to describe. It's like he's fighting this bald dude in a giant trench coat, and then like a bower blows up and the trench coat comes off and he just like morphs into like a giant like skeletal spider. Resident Evil 4 is fun. 6, I don't remember, dude. I'll be honest.
So that back there was me looking over onto the horizon, because you can see the castle that you go to in the main path. I wanted to see if you could also see the giant pot that Hideaki is sitting on and swimming in. And it turns out you can't see it over the horizon, so I thought that was kind of a missed opportunity that you couldn't see it over the mountain ledge.
Yeah.
I know what you've come here to ask.
I'll be honest, Tenkai does strike a much more intimidating figure than Oda does.
You want to find out who
Kind of, yeah.
and what I'm looking
It depends on what costume he's in. If he's in this costume, then yes. If he's in his Akachi Mitsuhide costume specifically, I think he looks stupid.
and I will answer all your questions.
Where are you?
Man, you need to get back to me when you actually get to emulating this game. See how it looks.
I have.
Of course.
Oh, geez, yeah, that looks a bit rough.
There is no need for
Yeah, I think that costume looks fucking stupid.
might be true.
It's the spikes and the shoulders, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this moment.
So, needless to say, I like the more subtle and subdued Tenkai costume better.
Yeah. Very much a less is more kind of deal. As well as the gradient helping with the Hakama.
Absolutely. So they're talking about it now, how Tenkai went through the process of resurrection, how he threw away his entire life to make this happen, so that he could finally have the glory himself of completing his mission to assassinate Oda.
Yeah.
Allow me to end your life. Let me kill you, so that you can learn to hate me again.
Death is of no
Man, Tenkai is more on board with social distancing than even Vic is.
times I am thrown to the flame. Hell
Ah, yes, the mask.
Yeah, the mask.
That mask is made out of metal. I imagine that's probably pretty heavy on your chin.
Probably. I imagine he's wearing the mask for more reasons than to protect his own health.
Probably. Oh yeah, it's because It's because no one can see what his face looks like, so he has no identifying features, even though his hair is his most identifying feature. You know, that I imagine is just what Vic sounds like nowadays.
Yeah. Kind of, yeah. Dude's... okay. I don't give two shits. I don't follow him on Twitter, but what has he been up to these days anyway? Probably just like the odd anime appearances and collecting royalty checks.
Voice actors don't get royalties. I sure as fuck don't follow him. The last thing I heard was that he made an unwanted appearance at a convention because a vendor invited him, but not the convention itself. And because he was causing traffic and backup and unsolicited events happening, he was kicked out of the convention he was never invited to. And the internet had a freak out, of course, because why would you kick him out? He was never invited in the first place, and he was creating a fire hazard in the convention.
Oh, wow. Fucking Oda just blew the fuck up. Sorry, that caught me off guard.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. But yeah, that is rough because well, again, it's America. Companies are private citizens, so they can kind of choose how they want to operate, and Republicans can't say anything about that because then they'd have to have these companies be public.
Public conventions. That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, right.
So once again, we're bookending with the credits. Like I said, we would only roll the opening and the closing twice, at the very beginning and at the very end.
Well,
Just
definitely say that
more...
was much different. That was different than I was expecting. I was expecting some like massive epic showdown against like the cover characters, not against Tenkai. That was kind of neat.
You get something sort of like that in Basara 4, but yeah, like I said, TMC4 era, the background or latter half or whatever you would call it of your game is mildly underdeveloped. I don't even know if I want to call it that, because Oda's only one character with 3 campaigns that don't go anywhere, but you still have the other characters that have 2 to 5 campaigns each, and they make up 15 other characters on the roster, and they all have complete stories. Whether they're good or bad is a different story, but story, goddammit.
You know, I'll qualify your statement a little bit in that this is Devil May Cry 4 era, but I won't even go that far. I would say that this whole era of Capcom is just wild in general, because this is Capcom coming off the heels of the runaway success of Street Fighter 4, literally reviving the fighting game genre in 2008, 2009. It was crazy. But unfortunately, it had this vacuum effect of like, if you weren't Street Fighter 4, you're probably getting shafted development or stunted development to some capacity. Like, DMC4 is the obvious one, but you also have stuff with like Street Fighter Cross Tekken and Dragon's Dogma, and fuck it, I'll even say that Asura's Wrath did kind of get that also to a certain capacity. I did hear how it didn't really have an ending. Not a DLC ending, but like a proper ending from what I heard.
It had an anticlimactic ending, but still very much an ending that looked like it was going to lead into a sequel. But they ended up just turning that into multiple DLC packs instead.
Yes.
And that game got shafted because it was a January release in 2012 when people were already sick of these consoles.
Yep. Yeah. I definitely got a Steam port, but no, Jesus.
It never did.
Oh, right. We had this talk before. Jesus Christ.
It was sent out to die.
Dying inside.
It's a long game, but I really want to do that at least once to show off the magnitude of game or the magnitude of cinematic that CyberConnect 2 can create when they're not chained to something like Naruto or JoJo or fucking Demon Slayer. I still haven't even looked at any gameplay for that game.
Same. Yep. You know what? Send me an ISO for it at some point. I'll fucking fire up for a stream and you can see me like react to it for the first time. Why not?
Yeah, that sounds like fun. But I mean, I do Yeah, that's going to be worked at a later time. That is a game that I want to see some sort of justice.
Yeah.
Liam O'Brien's Screamy Boy.
Absolutely. Yeah, the dude goes fucking ham sometimes. It was really with that in Fallout New Vegas, I realized that, wow, fucking Liam can go the distance at times. Holy shit, that guy.
He's not put into that sort of role very often. He's typically more soft-spoken.
Yeah, I guess to also bring us back to Capcom, since this is the last of the stories we're actually covering before we get to the extra content, I will say that that's a fucking crazy lead name. Okay, I will say that
$.
Yeah, that was weird. I will say that this whole time period of Capcom was also just crazy because for the hottest minutes they were on top of the world, and gonna say they kind of dropped the ball a little bit. I don't think they've really seen the old-timey term rip-roaring success that they've had with the launch of Street Fighter 4 at all. Excuse me.
No.
So, yeah. Frankly, it took a while for them to actually recover a lot of goodwill among the community as well. Not just for this, but you gotta remember, this is also around the time that all the Mega Man shit got canceled, most likely because of Inafune. Probably also Capcom's doing as well.
Inafune left because they kept canceling all of the games that he wanted. The Legends 3, that MMO thing, that Mega Man creator.
Yeah. There's also Inafune's idea to try westernizing a lot of their IPs. You know, see, actually don't remember the name of it offhand right now. Fuck me. Whatever. You understand what I'm trying to talk about.
Is this like when Kojima tried to make Castlevania?
No, because I do like his takes on Castlevania a little bit. No, it's more so. What is a good analogy for this? I actually don't know offhand.
Doesn't Lords of Shadow go into modern day?
Yeah, the sequel is set in modern day.
Yeah, that sounds kind of weird.
It is odd. I don't. I'm controversial. I kind of don't mind it. Oh yeah, that's another game that is pretty much directly inspired by God of War. Fucking Castlevania, duh. The reboot, Lords of Shadow.
I don't mind doing weird things with the concept. One of the original concepts for Fire Emblem Awakening, before they actually wrote the story, was they were going to take the cast to the planet Mars, because Mars.
Yeah.
Militarism over the land. He finally got his wish.
Hope nothing happens to undermine your authority.
Alright.
And with that, I guess it's time to move on to our end game of sorts with the extra content.
That's gonna be funny. I imagine you're probably gonna be laughing at some of what you see.
I would not be shocked, honestly.